videos, but I did want to wait to get this guy, Digital Stan, the most recently released South Park Funko Pop figure. He came out during San Diego Comic-Con as one of the San Diego Comic-Con exclusives, but now we have him, we can do the full entire collection video, and there is no better time than to do it. This year, guys, is the 25th anniversary of South Park. Yes, it released in 1997. There have been loads of celebrations worldwide, although predominantly in the US, including that 25th anniversary concert that Matt and Trey did. I checked it out on Paramount Plus. Very, very funny, very, very entertaining. I also can't wait to get a closer look at a lot of these figures, because I've really only taken a closer look at like some of the newer ones. The like older ones, I pretty much took them out of the box and put them on display. All of the boxes, if you are wondering, are up in the loft, and that actually leads me to two disclaimers just before we get started, guys. Number one is that yes, I do own the common versions of Terrance and Phillip, but I don't actually have them out here, and we're not going to be taking a closer look at those. I know it may be kind of like defeats the full collection video, but unfortunately they are buried in the loft with the empty boxes of the rest of the figures. You know, I had these on display in the other room, and yeah, just to kind of save space, I just left Terrance, Phillip, the common ones, you know, up in the loft with, like I said, the rest of the boxes, because there isn't really much of a difference. You guys will see, I mean, I'm pointing to them here. I don't know if you can really tell where they are, because there's a whole bunch of other figures in front of them. But yeah, once we get round to these ones, I'll kind of explain the difference. And then the second disclaimer is, guys, that no, I do not own the Stan and Kyle 2-pack, and no, I do not consider that like that I don't have the full collection, because they are exactly the same molds as the two singular release figures, at least to my knowledge, from what I've seen. Do correct me in the comments section below if I am mistaken, but I do not believe that I am. And yeah, I don't count that. When Funko do like 2-packs, 3-packs, whatever, and it's like, you know, they've just grouped together 3 singular or 4 singular figures, 2-packs as well, I don't consider that as like an additional part to the collection, unless they've maybe changed it. You know, yes, if it's a different mold, that's a bit different. If it's a different paint job, yes, that certainly is different. But yeah, if it's the same figures, I really don't count it. I know Funko have been doing this a lot recently. It has annoyed a lot of people. I think the two recent ones were like Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer, that they're exactly the same like singular figures, but I think the Itadori one in Jujutsu Kaisen in that 4-pack is glow in the dark, and I think it's Zenitsu is also glow in the dark in the Demon Slayer one, but the rest of the figures are exactly the same. I do think it's a little bit cheeky on Funko's behalf. But yeah, guys, I am rambling. We need to get on to the first figure. We're actually going to do this in chronological order of when the figures were released, because the South Park line does have its own number. It's not part of like Pop Animation. It's not part of Pop Television either. It has its own line. And number one, who we are starting with, is the one and only Butters. And this is just really your bog standard Butters. I do love the worried expression on his face. It's like he's pretty much about to get grounded. But yeah, like I said, it really is just him, bog standard, his regular kind of turquoise outfit that he has as we're swinging around here. Nothing really going on at the back. I mean, Butters does have that kind of weird hairstyle where it is just, it's almost like a starfish that's been planted on top of his head. But yeah, even though it's bog standard, it's still pretty cool. Butters, I absolutely love the character. You can't help but like feel sorry for him, but at the same time kind of laugh at him as well. Maybe that sounds a bit cruel, but yeah, a really cool figure, and I was surprised it was number one to start off the collection. And number two, guys, is Eric Cartman with the I am little piggy sign when he gets glasses. This is actually from one of my favorite episodes that was a very early episode, the Succubus episode. I can't remember what the exact title of the episode was. It might have even just been Succubus, but it's when Chef is going to get married to a succubus and the boys are trying to stop him to get married and all of that. But yeah, there's just some like funny, crazy lines in it. I particularly love Chef's parents and all his stories about the Loch Ness Monster and how he keeps like coming up to them and, you know, asking for tree fitty and all of that. Particularly that one when he knocks at the door and it's like a cute little schoolgirl, and then he's like, then I kind of realised that what was the line, like it was like, about that time I started to get suspicious and realised that this cute little schoolgirl was actually 8 stories tall and a like crustacean from the Paleolithic period, something along those lines. Very, very funny. But yeah, the figure itself also very, very cool. Cartman has to get glasses because he's like practically blind. The doctor ends up like stapling them to his head, and I think by the end of the episode, doesn't he get I think he gets Kenny's eyes transplanted, right? Something like that. But yeah, a really, really cool addition. And that was, like I said, the second South Park Funko Pop figure to be released. And number 3, guys, is Ike Broflovski, the younger brother of Kyle. I must say, another kind of weird choice for me from this first wave. I really thought the first wave would be all of the boys, you know, just pretty much in the regular outfit, you know, the regular gang. We did get them eventually, but yeah, they weren't really a part of that first wave. But yeah, I do really like this figure. It is slightly smaller than the rest, and I love how they actually do the Canadians on these ones. Of course, in South Park, the Canadians have like these kind of talking heads that, you know, where the head separates from the jaw whenever they talk. And as you guys can see, there is essentially like a spring. So it's almost like a bobblehead similar to like the Marvel or Star Wars Funko Pops. And yeah, that's how those ones are done. I think it is very, very funny and a neat kind of addition. And yeah, again, this is really just Ike in his kind of standard clothes. Obviously when he is very, very young. Number 4, guys, is Mysterion, and this one is really, really cool. Of course, Kenny's superhero alter ego. Was it like the Coon and Friends trilogy? I think that's where the character first debuted, did he? I'm trying to remember. Obviously, they were then in the Fractured Butthole video game. But yeah, this one's very, very cool. Like, it was a whole mystery of who Mysterion was. No one knew, and then you kind of pretty much found out. Wait, did you find out it was Kenny? I think you did. I mean, it's, yeah, because he dies and then comes back to life, and it's like only Kenny does that, right? So something like that. That was his power, which was also pretty funny. But yeah, this one is really, really cool. He's just got that M there on his outfit, kind of underpants, sort of over the top, and then he has the kind of like Riddler style question mark there on top of his hood with a Robin style mask as well as his cape. Yeah, this one's really, really cool. I do enjoy this one a lot. And number 5, guys, is another iteration of Kenny, but not the regular Kenny. It is Zombie Kenny. Look how cool that looks, guys. I think this is from an episode like ages ago, right? Maybe even the first or second season. It was like a Halloween episode, and Kenny had died and then he came back as a zombie, and the guys just thought that, you know, that was his outfit. We've got a bit of brain hanging out there. That is pretty cool, as well as his arm. You know, it's essentially torn off and you just see bone there. There's all stitching on the back. He's pretty much stitched in half. Some more bone there now as we're going around onto his left arm, and then we see parts of his rib cage. His eye is kind of like half sort of closed as well. There is a little mark there on my eye, which is a little bit annoying, but it, you know, that is what it is. Yeah, this Zombie Kenny also, I should mention, was a Hot Topic exclusive. I really can't say who it was exclusive here to in the UK. These first wave of figures actually came out back in 2017, and there are still 2 more to get through this first wave. And the first of those, and the 6th figure in the South Park collection, and I think one of the strangest ones, to be perfectly honest, maybe even the strangest, is the 2017 San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Mintberry Crunch. What a really weird character to do. He was in like 1 or 2 episodes, right? And we've had characters that they haven't even made yet. But it's really is a kind of funny, unique looking Funko Pop. It is during the Coon and Friends, and aren't they like trying to battle like Cthulhu, however you pronounce that. I actually forgot, I do own a like the 10-inch Cthulhu. Obviously it's not part of the South Park range, but I did buy it to display it with my South Park Funko Pop figures, but because he's so big, I just ended up burying him in the loft with a bunch of things as well. But yeah, this Funko Pop really, really weird. I can't remember what this guy's actual name was, but I think it did turn out he was the only one with superpowers, right? And like Mintberry Crunch was his superpower, didn't he? Like shoot out like Mintberry Crunch cereal or something along those lines. Like I said, a really, really weird choice for a Funko Pop, but yeah, a pretty unique look as well, where like half his head is, I guess, a Mintberry Crunch, right? And the 7th and final first wave release of South Park Funko Pop figures, guys, was another San Diego Comic-Con exclusive from 2017. It is the Coon, Cartman's superhero alter ego. And yeah, I have to say, this is one of the best looking pops in the entire collection. I love the detail they've got on it. The raccoon sort of mask, the big C there on his big belly. He's got the claws as well as we are going around, the red cape. He's got how the ears go up there onto the, like kind of connect with the mask as well. Is tied behind his back. He even has a raccoon style tail, a C there on his red cape as well, as we are going round again, and we get to the front once more, claws there as well. It's almost like some shotgun shells and some things there on his utility belt. I don't know if they are shotgun shells. They're probably more like knitting, like sewing threads, right? That's certainly what they look like. But yeah, this one is very, very cool. Yeah, love Cartman, love his Coon alter ego as well. Super offensive when you think about it, but you know, it's almost like, does he mean it? Yes, he probably does, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, you kind of feel he's pretty stupid as well, so, yeah. And then wave 2 began with the 8th figure in the collection. It is your bog standard Stan. Not really much to say here. It is Stan in his regular everyday outfit. Still cool, still iconic, of course. You know, we had to get all of the gang in their kind of regular outfits, otherwise it just really wouldn't have made sense. So yeah, here he is in his red puff hat with the kind of, I guess, like brown jacket that he has with the red mittens, as well as the blue pants. Kind of sad-ish, I guess, expression there on his face, or is he just supposed to be kind of really plain and not smiling? I don't know, but yeah, like I said, bog standard Stan, but still very, very cool. And number 9 is his best buddy Kyle. Again, the bog standard Kyle there with his green hat. Is there like a specific term for this style of hat? I've always kind of wondered. I think I did own one years ago, you know, for like winter. I used to have a paper round when I was, well, we're going back a long time here. And yeah, in the winter I wore a kind of hat similar to this. Bog standard, as I said, I'm probably going to say that word a couple more times. He has his orange jacket here with the green mittens to match his hat, as well as the kind of, I guess, darkish green. Not entirely sure what the correct colour is there for his pants. But yeah, again, same as Stan, like a kind of slightly saddish sort of expressionless. And I just really kind of contradicted myself there, but yeah, strange look on the face nonetheless, but I guess that's what they were going for. And number 10, guys, is Professor Chaos. I absolutely love this figure. I mean, I love the character. I love Butters. I love Cartman. I love Randy. They're probably my 3 favourite characters. I think they are like generally the 3 favourite characters of a lot of people, but they're absolutely hilarious. And yeah, I love Professor Chaos. He's got his like tinfoil mask, the gloves there. You've got some kind of like the things that make up the front of his outfit. Are they like tinfoil as well, with a bit of chain as we're going round? Here we have the green cape at the back, kind of very Doctor Doom-esque, I guess. That's kind of, I guess, what he was going for here with his, I was about to say superhero alter ego, super villain alter ego, as it is, as we swing back round here to the front. He's even got that kind of like sinister style smile, although it doesn't quite look as sinister as maybe it does in the cartoon, but it is still pretty cool. He's got that red and yellow gem bead or whatever it is on the top as well. Yeah, this one really, really cool. And number 11, guys, we have Terrance. And as I mentioned earlier, I do have the common edition, which is just him without the flag. So that's why I didn't really want to bother going up, wading through everything in the loft to then bring the common down to have a look at that, because like I said, it's the exact same figure, just that he does not hold the Canadian flag. This is actually the Chase edition. It is the same with Phillip as well. Like I mentioned, I do love how they do these Canadian figures with the spring in the head, and it essentially makes them like a bobblehead. I don't think we've seen Terrance or Phillip for quite a while in the show, have we? I'm trying to think when the last episode they appeared in, but they were, you know, they were quite prominent in early episodes, especially the movie as well. A lot of fart jokes, so they're kind of like the boys' favourite show. But yeah, I guess the show in itself moved away from them and that sort of type of humour, but yeah, I do miss them to an extent. And we'll of course take a quick look at number 12, which is Phillip holding the Canadian flag. Again, this is the Chase edition, and again the common edition is him without the flag. I can actually say though that these are the only 2 Chase editions we've had throughout the entire line, and I think we do now have 37 characters, if I am not mistaken. I'll tally that up at the end. But yeah, not really much else to say. It's that same head again. Like I said, I do really like the way they've done that for the Canadian characters. Phillip is of course blonde, Terrance black haired. Phillip with his turquoise outfit with the P on it. Terrance had the big T with his red outfit. I could also say, I guess, that they are very square, like they are in the show as well, which I guess is pretty neat. Not like I guess they're fairly unique when you think about it in terms of other Funko Pops. And on to number 13 next, guys, and this was actually a Hot Topic exclusive. I can't remember who it was exclusive to, again, here in the UK. It is Goth Stan. I think this one does also look really cool. Nevermore there on the front of his shirt. I think was it Edgar Allan Poe, something like that. It's obviously when Stan ends up hanging around with the Goth kids. I'm trying to think why. What's like the catalyst? What sets him off? I haven't seen that episode for such a long time. But yeah, it's a really cool looking pop. He has like the Christ earring there, or like a cross earring on his right ear as we are going around. Obviously his kind of puff hat is grey, I guess. You do see his hair, which is, I think he's kind of dyed it black, and obviously pretty much most of his outfit is black and grey. There is kind of it's like a raven, right? Because I guess, like, quote the raven nevermore, wasn't that the expression, I do believe, from one of Edgar Allan Poe's works? Not that I'm like this literary mastermind or anything like that. But yeah, I love how they've done the eyes as well, kind of like the sort of darkness underneath the eyes. Was it? It's not mascara, is it? Whatever you guys can tell that I'm not really into makeup and all that, but yeah, the kind of under the eye makeup. Yeah, very, very cool. I really do like this one. And the 14th figure, guys, and the final one to release under Wave 2 is Cartman with Clyde Frog. This was a GameStop exclusive. Yeah, again, can't remember who it was exclusive to here in the UK, and it's one of the more difficult and more expensive ones in the line to get. I think TPD value, if I recall, was around £48. So yeah, if you're getting it for around £50, you're probably doing quite well. I think I managed to pick it up quite a while ago. I definitely didn't get it at retail, but I did get it secondhand, and I think I did, well, if secondhand is the right term to use, second market, I guess. I think I did only pay like somewhere between 25 and 30 for it. I think I did get a really, really good deal, but again, I did buy it quite a while ago before the price went up. And I guess this is kind of the closest thing to the bog standard Cartman that we have in the collection. His regular outfit with the kind of turquoise hat with the kind of yellow puff and yellow trim. His red outfit, he has of course got his sort of big belly, like well, I was about to say like most of us have, certainly like I have, but he is holding Clyde Frog, which makes things a little bit different there. Clyde Frog was, I guess, like his childhood teddy for quite a long time, and then I think Clyde Frog was killed off. There was that episode, I really can't remember entirely what it was all about, but I definitely remember Clyde Frog getting killed off. I love how they've given him kind of the double chin there as well. Yeah, really cool. Like I said, I love Cartman, so yeah, I really, really do love this pop. And then moving on to Wave 3, guys, with number 15, which is Chef. An iconic character, but it has been a long time since we, of course, saw Chef. He was voiced by Isaac Hayes back in the day. Isaac Hayes, of course, did unfortunately pass away, but he did then quit the show because of that Scientology episode they did. I believe he was like a Scientologist or something along those lines. I haven't like read the story for a long, long time, and they did bring Chef back, and they did like episodes by recording, like they took snippets of all the recordings he'd done in the past, and didn't he become like Darth Chef or something like that? It was just really sad because Chef was such a cool character. You know, he gave all the boys kind of like life tips and things like that. Would, you know, like break out into song. A lot of them were kind of inappropriate as well when you think about it. But yeah, a really, really cool pop. I love his Chef hat. You know, the outfit there, the red with the blue jeans, and then he of course has his chef apron as well with the beard coming out. Again, he kind of looks sad. I'm seeing that's like a bit of a common theme here, that the mouth is kind of curved downwards to imply, I guess, like a little bit of a frown, whereas maybe it should have been more kind of straight, right? But yeah, I'm trying to think, was that how the figures, or pardon me, the characters look like kind of, you know, originally back in the day? It may have been, it's been a long time since I saw some of the earlier South Park episodes, but yeah, really glad they did a Chef figure. This one's really, really cool. And I do apologize that I keep saying cool, but it's like one of the only words in my descriptive vocabulary, and I probably am going to say it a bunch more times in this video, guys. But number 16 here is your bog standard Kenny. And again, one of the more difficult and expensive Funko Pops now to get. And it is really just a common. It wasn't like exclusive to anyone or anything like that. But yeah, this was one of the last ones I did pick up before the digital stand, I think. I'm trying to think how much I paid for it. I think on TBD it's like 45 or something like that. And I think I did pay close to TBD. It was around 40, I think. But yeah, I really wanted it for my collection, of course, to complete it. And yeah, like I said, bog standard Kenny with his orange, I was about to say jumpsuit. It's not really a jumpsuit, is it? It's just like his jacket, and then he has the hood there covering his face. Yeah, I'm going to say it again. Very cool. Bog standard though, but yeah, you need the bog standard figures, which that is now the kind of fourth and final one of the original gang. We also have Butters, who was number 1. So yeah, they had to make these. But yeah, guys, now after all of these, apart from like some of the other different characters, we are now going to be getting into a lot of the alter egos of the 4 boys. Starting with number 17, which is Cartman Cop. And this is one of my more favourite ones in the collection. Look at that, guys. How cool is that? It's when Cartman, I'm trying to think of the episode. Is it the Chicken Lover episode? I think it was, right? Where Bar Brady is trying to find the chicken lover. And things like that, and Cartman, I think it's that episode anyway, and Cartman ends up, does he get deputized or something like that, and it's the whole, you know, you will respect my authority, you know, that's the episode where that sort of famous line comes from. But yeah, really, really cool. He has his truncheon there as we are going around. He did have the glasses, nothing really much going on at the back. He's really just got his cop uniform, wearing the same style of hat, but let's swing back round to the front where he has those glasses. The paint job on it is a little bit, you know, so they could have done better. That's just really Funko quality control. But I do love the the stickers there on the glasses of the, I guess, the Colorado mountains in the reflection, right? That is really, really cool. He has his Cartman name tag, as well as like this kind of makeshift sheriff's badge as well. I love how they've done the eyebrows too, because it's like pretty much, you know, authoritative, right? Respect my authority. Yeah, this one, I'm going to say it again, guys, because it is really, really cool. I do enjoy this pop. And next up, guys, is number 18, and I think the only Speciality series pop in the collection. You know, I'll correct myself if I am wrong when we go through some of the figures. It is, of course, Mr. Garrison, and he does have Mr. Hat there. This figure is really, really cool. Again, some slight paint issues with my one there on the glasses. That's always annoying, but there's not much you can really do about that. It is Funko quality control. This is really the classic Mr. Garrison, I guess, the boys' teacher. Like I said, he does have Mr. Hat there on his right hand. Yeah, Garrison is like one of the most kind of messed up characters, I guess, like throughout the whole series, with what happens to him, all the changes he goes through and things like that. We're not really going to get into all of that as we are going around. He, of course, has his grey hair, where he is essentially bald on top. As we swing back around, the green, you know, bog standard outfit. Again, we've been saying bog standard a lot. This, I guess, is the bog standard Garrison, right? But yeah, I do love that Mr. Hat. He even has the kind of black Funko Pop eyes as well. Yeah, gonna say it again, guys. Very, very cool. And then, guys, we have more of the Coon and Friends, emphasis on the Friends part of the superhero alter egos. Number 19 is Human Kite, which is the superhero alter ego of Kyle, and I think this one does have some nice detail on it. Actually, this one and then the next pop are two of the more cheaper ones. You can still find these for really, really cheap if you guys did want to pick them up. As we are going around here, the Human Kite, well, I guess he flies a kite, right? That's essentially his ability. Some nice detail there on the kite, the red and the yellow, and there are some kind of like marks where it is kind of, whether it's like sewed together, stuck together, whatever it is, and then the little bit that comes down below that does act to kind of help the figure stand as well. As we go back round to the front, he has a pretty much kite logo, I guess, there. His head is covered by, I'm not really sure what you would call it, like a balaclava style type face mask. It's more, I feel, something the like racers would wear under their racing helmets. I don't know what that is supposed to be there in his belt as well, but yeah, Really nice looking figure. There you go, guys. That's a different word. Nice. And number 20, guys, is Toolshed Stan's superhero alter ego. And again, I think it's a really, really nice looking pop. There's some really nice detail on it. But again, you can pick this one up for very, very cheap if you do a bit of research. He's got the T there, you know, on his shirt. He's got a whole bunch of tools, carrying a drill there in his right hand. He has the yellow safety goggles, which I think is pretty cool. Obviously not wearing a hat, which we kind of really normally see with Stan. He's pretty synonymous. Hard word to say there for me, especially at the time. I'm actually recording this pretty late the night before, guys. On the back, I think is that like a sander that he's got on his back as well? It's some kind of tool again, right? He has his gloves there as well, safety gloves. Yeah. Again, a really cool figure. Like I said, it's got some really, really nice detail on it. And then number 21, guys, is the Christmas Pooh himself, Mr. Hankey. I mean, it's probably one of the most disgusting Funko Pops I guess they've ever made, right? Because it is really just like a living poo, essentially. But it is a really, really cool looking pop. He's got the smile there. His eyes are kind of beaming. He's wearing the Santa hat, the arms coming out. He is on one of these stands because he kind of essentially hops everywhere, right? And he does end up leaving poo stains. So they've essentially got him elevated on one of these clear stands. I mean, even some of the detail there in the poo, it kind of feels horrible to hold, to be honest. Even though it's kind of cold and it's not like coming off on my hands, it still feels a bit icky to hold. Yeah, Mr. Hankey, an iconic character from the South Park collection. Really glad they did make it because it is also a very, very unique, and I'm going to say it again, very cool pop. And the final figure of Wave 3, guys, number 22, is Randy Marsh. And this is like Geologist Randy, right? It was the old school Randy, albeit Geologist Randy did make a comeback in the most recent episodes they did. Well, it was the like Streaming Wars special, right? He had to come back to his like geologist style job to like get the water flowing, like streaming. The way they did it was all very kind of funny. Obviously, it's streaming in terms of television streaming, but like it kind of comes down on a stream of water. I mean, I don't really have to explain it to you guys, especially if you have watched the episode. But yeah, the old style Geologist Randy, still really, really cool. But yeah, I've used that term bog standard quite a lot because that is what he is. Bog standard Geologist Randy. He's got some things there in his pocket with his tash, with his, you know, typical hairstyle. It's really, really cool. I'm happy they made it, but I really do want to see more Randys come out. But we'll talk about that more in tomorrow's video, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. And then starting Wave 4, guys, is number 23. It is Butters as Margarine. That's what they're starting to do now, is make a lot of these characters in their alter egos. This is when Butters becomes Margarine and essentially dresses up like a girl because he wants to collect, they had a word for it, it's those like old things you used to make in school. I can't remember what they're actually called. They're like made of paper, right? And you say like, you know, a number or a color, and you count the like corresponding letters, numbers, whatever it is, and yeah, you end up being told that you love this person, or you do this, or you do that. The boys kind of thought it was some kind of like future telling device or something, so they send Butters undercover as Margarine. Yes, it's a really nice looking pop again. You know, he has this kind of summery dress, this long hair. He has those kind of pink rabbit slippers, because I think they do end up going for a sleepover, and I think that might be when he swipes the device. The green sort of bows in the hair as well, making the pigtails. Yeah, really, really cool, really nice looking figure. Next up, number 24 is Jersey Carl. I think the episode was called It's a Jersey Thing, right? Another kind of funny addition. I mean, it's kind of like the biggest in terms of the hair, because his hair is essentially gelled up. It's when Kyle discovers that he is actually from Jersey, and he it's kind of like a parody essentially of like Teen Wolf, right? Because they kind of become these Jersey people, and they kind of talk like I guess it was like Jersey Shore type people, right? Because I think even like Suki was in, was it Suki? Was that her name? I can't remember. Like, it was ages ago when Jersey Shore was like quite a big thing. You know, like trash reality TV. And yeah, Carl, they started talking like they were from Jersey, like muff garbage, or like some weird terms like that that I hadn't even ever heard of, to be honest. But yeah, pretty cool. He's got like, I guess, bracelets, bangles, whatever you want to call them, has this kind of outfit as well. I don't know, is this like typical of what sort of Jersey people, Jersey Shore people wear? But yeah, I do remember like the spiked up hair and the kind of different accent as well. But yeah, I think a really cool, funny, unique addition. He's got the, I guess like a worried look, right? Because when it's kind of like when he first transforms and discovers. Yeah, just really funny, really cool pop. And then number 25 is A.W.E.S.O.M. This one is really, really cool. It was going to be one of my most requested Funko Pop figures when I did my top 10 most wanted South Park Funko Pop figures 2 years ago tomorrow. That's why we're doing a sort of recap video, but more on that a bit later. And yeah, A.W.E.S.O.M is what I really, really wanted, but they had literally just announced him at that time 2 years ago. I mean, look at the detail on this thing, guys. It is when Cartman becomes A.W.E.S.O.M. Is he just trying to get information out of Butters? Again, it's such a like a kind of like iconic episode. You know, but I'm trying to actually remember what's the whole point of dressing up as A.W.E.S.O.M. I really can't remember. I don't remember those things like people trying to understand it, like, are you like a pleasure bot or something like that? It's like lame. Yeah, just very, very funny, at least from the memories I have. I am going to have to watch it again though to you know, try and appreciate the episode a bit more. But yeah, the detail on it is very, very cool. Again, it's pretty unique because it is essentially like a box, you know, a box figure, right? That we don't really see this typically with Funko Pops. A lot of detail there on the front. A.W.E.S.O.M with all the, you know, lights, the dials and everything that he's kind of stuck onto the box. I guess that kind of looks like a remote control, maybe a calculator there. But yeah, really, really cool detail on this one. Number 26 is Shadow Hachi Stan, and yeah, really, really cool. Again, from one of the best episodes. I think it was called Good Times with Weapons, right? I always kind of feel, was it Fun Times with Weapons? No, I think it was Good Times with Weapons, and they kind of all essentially became ninja, and then they had like anime sequences which looked really, really cool. But yeah, Stan, Shadow Hachi Stan is the only one they have released so far. He has the what is the actual word? They're like stun batons, but I think there is a kind of more correct word for them, especially kind of in the, you know, traditional Japanese sense. But like I said, it's the only one they have made from this line so far, which I think is very, very weird. They have just released some of the new, like wave 2 of the South Park U2s are the, like, it's the 4 kids in their like Shadow Hachi. Wait, is it Shadow Hachi? No, because Shadow Hachi is only related to Stan, right? It's basically the Good Times with Weapons, you know, the 4 boys with their weapons. They look really, really cool. I do think we are eventually going to get Kyle, Cartman, and Kenny as well. It really is, I think, a matter of when and not if. I'd even venture a guess that they may even be next on some of the release wave, but we are going to talk about that again more in tomorrow's video. Next up, guys, number 27 is Cartman Faith+1, when Cartman creates his Christian rock hard band Faith+1 with Token and Butters. Again, a really funny episode because they essentially realised that you can make a lot of money from like Christian rock hard music. Typical Cartman exploitation, really. He has the cross there around his neck, the kind of smile on his face. It's the outfit he wears. Does he wear this outfit throughout the whole episode? But I know, I'm trying to think, it is on that album. So I was thinking this could have made like a really cool like album cover, right? With just using Cartman. I know there is, like I said, Token and I guess he's Tolkien now, right? It's not actually Token, and Butters are on it as well. But they could, Butters, I sounded really English there, Butters. Not English, like common. I know a lot of you Americans watching will say, like, you know, we say a bottle of water, but we don't all really sound like that, I do promise you. But back to this figure, guys. Yeah, I feel it could have made a really cool like pop album if they wanted to do the first kind of South Park pop album. But I do have another really cool idea that I'm going to discuss again in tomorrow's video. But moving on to number 28, guys, Princess Kenny, and I was absolutely shocked when I logged into TBD to see this is currently the highest value one on there. You know, at least in the UK. I don't know if it is the same in the US. It was like £53, and I was very, very surprised about it because it didn't really release that long ago. It's not even been out for 2 years, but yeah, for whatever reason, it is now the most expensive one. It is, of course, Kenny's alter ego from the Stick of Truth video game, and I guess like the sort of Black Friday trilogy, which was essentially a prelude to the video game anyway. But yeah, a really cool looking figure. You know, the hair, the crown coming over his usual, you know, the kind of overcoat, orange hood, as well as the dress there. Yeah, really cool looking figure. Princess Kenny was the final boss, if I do remember the Stick of Truth. The game did come out quite a few years ago though as well. And the other thing I will say, guys, I did actually notice if you are after this figure, Double Box Toys actually do have it for pre-order currently at £12.95, with a release date of September/October. I don't know what to make. I've ordered a bunch of things, or I should say pre-ordered a bunch of things off Double Box Toys when they dropped a whole bunch of common Funko Pop pre-orders, but a lot of things were like either vaulted or hard to get hold of, and they were selling them for retail price with dates. I think they dropped around sort of May, June, and all the dates were kind of like from July to the end of the year. This Princess Kenny one in particular was September/October. I ordered a whole bunch of anime ones. Nothing's actually come just yet. But yeah, it's on there, guys, if you did want to try and get it for a really good price. I mean, if you can get it for £12.95 as opposed to £53, you are grabbing yourself a bargain. But it's just a question of, yeah, will they actually get it? I'm not entirely sure. That's not to say I don't have faith in Double Box Toys. They've never let me down in the past. But yeah, what's the worst that can happen? You don't get the figure and you end up getting your £12.95 back, right? And the final figure in Wave 4, guys, number 29, is the A.W.E.S.O Unmasked figure. Now, this was an exclusive to FYE. Again, I really cannot remember who it was exclusive to over here in the UK, which is a bit weird. Like, I know all the exclusives in the US, I just don't really remember them here in the UK too much. Yeah, very cool. It is the exact same sort of body mold, but a different head sculpt, and it is Cartman worried. I guess when he's found out, right, he's like quite sweaty and whatnot as well when he takes mask, helmet, cardboard box, whatever you want to call it, off the top of his head. And so I like how they've done the hair there, because it is kind of very messy and knotted, if knotted is the right word. And like I said, he has that worried look on his face, kind of tired look on his face, because yeah, I guess he's tired, he's sweaty, wants to get out the box, right? But yeah, this one's still really cool. And then, guys, we move on to Wave 5, which is the final wave so far in these line of South Park Funko Pop figures, starting with number 30, which is the Grand Wizard Cartman from the Stick of Truth / Black Friday trilogy. I believe that is the Stick of Truth that he is holding there. Yeah, I was really glad they did make these. We are going round now. He has the blue cape on the back. He has the wizard hat, pardon me, which is in the same kind of colour scheme as his regular kind of puff hat. As we come back round here to the front, you know, showcasing his big belly again. He's got that kind of belt that goes around, turquoise belt, his cape, the fasteners there as well. Yeah, really cool. I did really love Grand Wizard Cartman, so yeah, I was really happy when they decided to release the rest of these figures in the latest wave. And I say that because they released Princess Kenny during the 4th wave, and then the rest of them followed in Wave 5. That's why I think we do have a good chance at the rest of the Good Times with Weapons figures. But this is the High Elf King Carl here. I think there's some really nice detail on this one. That kind of crown of thorns that goes on his usual hat that he wears. He has a golf club here as his weapon. There's some nice detail and decal there on his robes as we are now going around. There are even some leaves there in his like thorn crown. Again, we've got a kind of emblem, I guess, there on the back. I was trying to think, wasn't it? I'm trying to think now. There was like Cooper House or something. They like had faction names, didn't they? It's been a long time though since I watched both those episodes and played the video game, but I do love how you can kind of make out some stitching there on the back as well on that logo as we come back round to the front. If you guys do have this figure, be careful. That golf club you know, is quite fragile. It could easily break. But yeah, again, with some really nice detail on this figure. And then we have number 32, which is Paladin Butters. And I actually think Kyle, if memory serves me, was the very original Paladin, because they kind of had these same sort of alter egos in that Lord of the Rings parody episode they did, where they have to return that tape which is actually like a porno. It's like a spoof porno of Lord of the Rings, right? And they want to return it to the video shop because they think it has lots of powers. And if I do remember, Kyle was actually the Paladin, but as they kind of evolved and developed and eventually we got the Stick of Truth figures, you know, Butters had to become the Paladin because Butters was the one who was essentially the Gollum character in that episode. But yeah, Paladin Butters, really, really cool there with his hammer. We are kind of around the back now where he has this sort of navy blue cape with the sort of purple pauldrons, the yellowy gold gloves as we swing back round to the front. He has the usual kind of colour scheme that he has. Most of these characters have their same sort of colour scheme as their sort of bog standard clothing. He has, I guess, that Paladin sort of shield emblem there on his chest, as well as like a sort of, what are those things called? It's not singlet, is it? Is it singlet? Circlet. I think it's circlet, isn't it, that goes on there. Singlet's like a wrestling outfit, goes like over only one of your shoulders, isn't it? Yeah, circlet there on his head as well. Yeah, again, gonna say it, guys, and I will apologise because I'm gonna say it some more. Very, very cool. Then we have number 33, guys, Ranger Stan Marshwalker, which is the final figure. Well, I say the final figure that they had to release in the kind of Stick of Truth line, but there are plenty other characters, of course, that they could release. But yeah, that's the, like, the four main boys as well as Butters, because Butters is kind of like the fifth boy now when you think about it. But Ranger Stan Marshwalker here, another cool looking figure, has that sort of wooden sword, the, you know, the kind of helmet piece that goes over, I guess, his hat. There is some nice detail, like some decal as well, if you guys can make that out on his hat. He has that red feather there at the top. He's kind of given a bit of an action pose, so to speak. I kind of feel like he's brushing his cape to the back there. The cape is kind of really just this sort of dark greyish colour. He has two sort of bracelets or bands, whatever you want to call them, around the wrists as well. Yeah, again, another really looking cool figure. And like I said, I was really, really glad that they did make the rest, at least of the boys, in this line. And then next up, guys, is number 34, the most sage piece of advice anyone could ever give. Don't forget to bring a towel. I do apologise if that impression was pretty bad, but yeah, flocked Towelie. This is really, really cool. In that video I did 2 years ago, this was my number one figure, my most requested figure that I wanted, and then they did go ahead and make it. It was an Amazon exclusive in the US. If my memory does serve me right, I think it was like first exclusive to Magic Madhouse here in the UK, but I think HMV did then get it. I always feel the exclusives here in the UK, it's like not exclusive to one shop. It's the same with a lot of the recent releases. You'll see like a figure, you know, and it's exclusive to Forbidden Planet International, Forbidden Planet Limited, HMV, and Game, or something, you know, along the lines. You're like, is it really exclusive if it's going to like 4 different shops? But yeah, guys, a very unique, very, very cool Funko Pop. I can even tell you, it does feel like a towel, albeit like a, you know, those towels that have ended up being a little bit scratchy and whatnot. They're not like super soft anymore. That's kind of what it feels like. But yeah, very, very cool, very unique figure. Like I said, I do love how the eyes, you know, he kind of has his eyelids down a bit, so he is a little bit high. The only one thing I did feel they could have done is, you know, maybe his eyes could have been like pink a little bit to signify a little bit more that he is high. But then I started thinking maybe they could have done like a Chase edition, you know, in that vein. But yeah, this is still really, really cool and one of my favourite figures in the entire collection. And next up, guys, is number 35, Kyle as Tooth Decay. And I have to say, after Mintberry Crunch, I do feel this is one of the more weirder you know, figures they've made. It is an alter ego of Kyle. It's essentially like a preschool, wasn't it? Like kindergarten play. Like Ike was supposed to play Tooth Decay, but then he goes off to save the something to do with the Canadian royal wedding, right? Because of course Ike is Canadian. It's like a real bizarre sort of episode. It was kind of like a parody, I think, of I think it was Kate and Will's wedding, if I'm not mistaken. I think like Meghan and Harry's was like much later. I'm pretty certain, like I said, it was Kate and Will's. They do this whole thing with like pudding and like ripping each other's arms off and like something really, really bizarre, typical that you would see from South Park. But I think it was Mr. Mackey who was like kind of directing the play, and then he basically made Kyle, you know, don the outfit of Tooth Decay because his brother, you know, had gone AWOL. So yeah, like I said, it's a pretty bizarre one to make. I think there were other kind of alter egos of other characters, and I think Carl had some as well that they maybe could have done, but it still is a kind of funny, unique looking Funko Pop. He essentially has no arms, right? He's got these, I guess, they kind of, it's like Decay coming out to drill at people's teeth, right? Yeah, a weird one, a unique one, but still a pretty cool one. And then guys, we have number 36. I mentioned him earlier, the latest figure to release as part of the South Park line of Funko Pops. It is Digital Stan, which was a 2022 San Diego Comic-Con exclusive. I actually did fail to mention as well, the Kyle as Tooth Decay, the figure we just showed off, was actually a 2021 Emerald City Comic-Con exclusive. So, you know, pardon me for not mentioning that when we were looking at that figure. But yeah, Digital Stan I did take a look at fairly recently, actually, when I got my San Diego Comic-Con exclusive mail call, which was, what was it, a month or two ago now. I'll put a link to the video if you guys did want to check it out. But a really cool figure. It was part of the Facebook episode, I think it was called You Have Zero Friends, where Stan essentially gets sucked into Facebook. He gets the most friends in the world, and yeah, he then has to have this kind of Tron battle where he has like, does he have a game of Yahtzee, and if he wins it, he essentially gets out of Facebook, and then he ends up transferring all his friends to Kip Geordie, who has no friends. It was a very good episode. I do remember it and thoroughly enjoyed it. And this is the first and only glow-in-the-dark South Park Funko Pop figure that they have made so far. We have taken a look at the glow before, but you know what? We may as well do it again. Here we go, guys. Boom. Look at that. I really do like the glow on this one. I think Top Pop showed it off in his video the other day, and he didn't really get the glow sharp. I always feel glow is better on like phone cameras than like kind of traditional cameras. And the other thing I should say, actually, let me just pop the torch down a second, is that the glow goes all the way around. Let me actually just get the torch on there for a little bit longer. I didn't have it on the back as long as I did on the front, but yeah, look at that, guys. Really, really cool. And lastly, guys, we have PC Principle. Now, this did release as part of Wave 5 with the other Stick of Truth figures, but it was released as a Pop Town because he, of course, does come with South Park Elementary, so it is a different number in the line. We'll take a look at South Park Elementary in just a second. Let's do PC Principle first. I think it is a really, really cool figure. I love the glasses. I love the mouth because you don't really see very many mouths on Funko Pops. The little goatee there. He's also kind of standing in that almost like come at me bro sort of stance, because he isn't he part of what do they call them in America, like the university? Yeah, fraternity. That's the right thing, isn't he? He has like a fraternity when he sort of first debuts, and they're all kind of like the sort of macho guys and whatever. But yeah, he's got that stance. He has his blue shirt, his kind of khaki the right word, those kind of grey khaki style pants, or chinos if that's the right word, with his shoes there as well. But yeah, really, really cool figure. But what's ultra cool, guys, is South Park Elementary. I mean, look at that, guys. It is a really, really cool Pop Town. I'm so glad they made it. The big South Park Elementary sign. There's even snow, you know, atop the sign there. The American flag there, which is also kind of like poorly drawn. That's like a thing it mentions at the start of every South Park episode, isn't it? That things are poorly drawn as we go around. There's some kind of brickwork there, but even that has some nice detail, as well as the rest of the snow there on the ground as we go around to the back. I guess those are the doors that lead to the playground, right, for recess and whatnot. More snow on the roof as it is kind of coming down. We have all the windows there, I guess, of the various classrooms. Come back around the side again, more sort of brickwork. I don't know if that's supposed to be like an electrical box or something along those lines. Again, more snow on the top there as we swing back round to the front where the best detail is. One of the other things I didn't mention as well is that under the flagpole there is like a grassy patch, right? I guess it's like that because, you know, someone's always got to raise the flag. So I think that is also a pretty neat detail. But yeah, guys, as a big South Park fan, I was really, really happy that they made South Park Elementary as a Pop Town. I just think it really, really does complete the current collection. And that is all of the figures in the collection, guys. 36 in terms of numbers, I guess, with the Terrance and Phillip Commons, I guess that's what, 38 figures, but then if you count PC Principal, there's also 39 again. If you then want to count the Stan and Kyle 2-pack, I guess it's like 41 figures plus the town currently available in the collection. But yeah guys, that is going to do it for today's video. So first and foremost, thank you so much for taking a little bit of time out of your day to spend with me here on the Geek Lounge. I hope you guys did enjoy the video, and if so, be sure to give us a thumbs up, drop some comments below. Out of all of these figures, which one is your favorite? And I mentioned it about 3 or 4 times while we were taking a closer look at some of the figures, guys. We have another South Park Funko Pop video dropping for you guys tomorrow. 2 years ago tomorrow is an anniversary. It was like the 5th, maybe 6th video I did. It was the top 10 most wanted South Park Funko Pops. And yeah, I did it on the 6th of September 2020. So in tomorrow's video, we're actually going to revisit that, look at the top 10, and then discuss some of the other ideas that I have for future Funko Pops. I think it's going to be a really fun video. I've like scrolled through tons and tons of like, you know, not like watched episodes, but gone through like episode data and images and things. So I have some really good ideas, which I think will make for some really cool Funko Pops. So make sure you join us for that one. I should hopefully be getting another package in this week. We've had delays here in the UK, you know, Royal Mail, our main parcel service, they've actually been striking a lot in the last sort of week or so. But yeah, I do hope to get a bunch of Funko Pop packages in either like tomorrow or Wednesday, because in one of those packages is our 25th soda. If you've been following along, you know I am going to be opening up 25 unique Funko sodas, and I am just waiting for that 25th soda in that box. So as soon as that comes in, we will get around to doing that video. I think, or I should say, I hope the parcel is going to come tomorrow or Wednesday, in which case that video will be dropping on Thursday or Friday. We of course are continuing our very own Star Wars celebration here on the channel. Still don't know what we're going to drop this week. We are very spoiled in terms of Star Wars content, but we will have something very cool for you guys. So make sure you stay tuned for all of that and more. What is the easiest way to stay tuned? You know it, it's very simple. Subscribe, hit click, smash that subscribe button and enable those notifications so you don't miss out on any of that future content. Guys, thanks again for watching today's video, and we will see you on the next one. Peace out, nerds.